Wow. Okay. So it looks like Transformers and Rectifiers or TARIL had a pretty busy board meeting recently. Like a lot happened according to this document, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. They've approved quite a few significant things. It's the kind of meeting that could really shift a company's direction.
Okay. So first up, they've approved their financial results for the quarter and 9 months ended December 31st, 2024. I guess that's like standard quarterly stuff. What else is going on?
Exactly, that's routine. But then they get into some much bigger moves, like they're proposing a bonus share issue of 1:1, which is pretty significant.
Wait, a 1:1 bonus share? So for every share you own, you get another one free? I mean, that's like doubling your shares overnight, right?
That's precisely it. It's like if you had one slice of pizza, you suddenly get a whole second pizza, for free. Of course, the value of each share will adjust, but it's still a big deal.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's why the share price adjusts after a split, right? Like the slice is smaller, but you have more slices. So they're basically doing a stock split, but calling it a bonus issue?
Well, it's not exactly a stock split because there isn't a reduction in the face value, but the effect is similar. It increases the number of shares while rewarding current shareholders. It's a way of distributing reserves and rewarding them.
Right, that makes sense. And they need to change their memorandum of association because of this, right? Like their capital clause needs to be updated.
Yes, exactly. They're increasing their authorized share capital to accommodate all these new bonus shares. It's like they need a bigger container to hold all that new pizza.
Okay, that's a good analogy. What else besides all these bonus shares? What's Annexure C about?
Annexure C, that's where it gets really interesting. They're planning to raise up to 750 crore rupees through a qualified institutional placement or QIP. It's basically selling shares to big institutional investors.
A QIP? I mean, that sounds like serious money. So it's not like a regular public offering, right? It's more like a private placement with big investment firms.
That's right. It's like having a special VIP sale for a select group of high end investors. They're looking to raise a lot of capital. So that's a smart move.
So, with all that extra cash, what are they planning to do with the funds? I mean, they've got a lot of projects going on.
Well, the document doesn't specify exactly, but I'd imagine it's for expansion, innovation, maybe paying down some debt. It's like having a full tank of gas for a really long road trip.
Okay, and then there's the last thing, Annexure D, about the Articles of Association. What's that all about?
Right. So that's a more technical change. They're removing the common seal clause, which is like, the company stamp. It's becoming less relevant in this digital age.
So they don't need that fancy company stamp anymore. It's like swapping a physical signature with a digital one, right?
Exactly. It's about modernizing their processes, making it more streamlined, like ditching the old typewriter for a laptop.
Okay, this is all pretty big stuff for one board meeting. I mean, it's almost like they're hitting the reset button and pushing full steam ahead.
Definitely. They're not just adjusting, they're making bold moves. It suggests they've got pretty significant plans for growth and expansion. It's like a race car getting a major tune up before a big race.
So to summarize, they've approved financial results, a 1:1 bonus share issue, are looking to raise 750 crores through QIP, and also updated their charter, like a whole lot of action.
You got it. And they're also holding an extraordinary general meeting or EGM on February 3rd for shareholders to okay all these big decisions. It's like a town hall meeting, but for investors.
So the shareholders get to vote on all this. Huh? What about the bonus shares? Do they come from reserves and profits?
Yeah, so the bonus shares, they'll come out of securities premium, general reserve, or retained earnings. It's like taking money from your savings account and distributing it out.
Okay, so they're not creating new money out of thin air for these bonus shares, but rather using money they already have. That's a pretty interesting way of doing things.
Precisely. It's all about using existing funds to reward the shareholders. It's like a baker using extra dough to make more loaves of bread without needing to buy new flour.
Got it. And the estimated date they will issue these bonus shares is by March 7th, right?
Yes, that's the target. Subject to shareholders' approval and other approvals, things need to go through the proper channels.
That makes sense. So with the QIP, They're basically getting funds from big institutions, but where do they mention what they plan to do with that money?
Well, the document doesn't actually go into the specifics of that. They're focused on getting that initial approval and, other details will follow.
So it's a funding first, plan later kind of approach, huh? So they just need the money first and they'll figure out the rest.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They probably have a plan in mind, but they're just not disclosing it in this document. It's like knowing you want a new house, but not revealing the blueprints just yet.
I see. So what happens after the AGM on February 3rd? After they get all those approvals?
Well, if everything gets approved, they'll begin implementing all the proposals. So the bonus shares will get issued. They will go ahead with the QIP and, move forward.
I mean, all this action should be good for the company, right? The stock price might take a hit after the bonus issue, but it'll recover.
Potentially, yes, it can boost investor confidence and bring in fresh funds. That can lead to growth. It's a bit like planting new trees in an orchard. It takes time to see the full harvest.
I guess so. Oh, well, this was certainly quite the board meeting. It's like setting the stage for a whole new chapter for TARIL, right?
Absolutely. This is a pivotal moment for them. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds in the coming months, I think. So many moving parts at once.
For sure. So let's see how the shareholders react at the EGM. That's going to be a big one, huh?
Definitely. It's a crucial step in this transformation. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out, like watching a seed grow into a tree.